I'm sure by now you've heard about the Anti-Defamation League's probe into hateful extremism on Steam and how many Schnazis they have discovered. Enough, in fact, for a US senator to decide to use your time and money on talking about it. Which, I'm sure, is the premier use of a US senator's time at this point. But have you understood just how ridiculous the accusations actually are? What a minuscule percentage of people we're actually talking about here? Well, we are going to get into that in just a second, as here's the thing. I don't actually think this has anything to do with Steam, really. I don't think all Senator to Valve, what's with all the Nazis on Steam, says Senator Mark Werner. Note that name down for future reference. I don't think this has anything to do with Steam, really. I think this has to do with two things. One, the ADL feels as if they're falling out of the public consciousness and grace, which are both correct. And two, they wish to draw some fire away from Twitch, which remains the progressives' premier video sharing platform, or streaming platform more correctly, of choice. And here's the thing, Twitch has been ravaged every which way recently because of significant advertisers' withdrawals on the platform. Because here's the thing, you may try to make the argument that Steam has an extremism problem, and you will struggle to produce any significant evidence of it. However, with Twitch, all you need do is Google the name Hassan Piker. And you will be provided with hours, hundreds, if not thousands of hours, of evidence of extremism, of terrorist sympathies, and indeed, the terrorists themselves. So yeah, the only reason why this didn't happen earlier is of course because Twitch is a left-wing platform that enforces left-wing terms of service and protects its stars like Hassan Piker, who is, I mean, holy hell, he's not merely in violation of the TOS here, I'm pretty sure there's some actual legislation against talking to actual legitimate terrorists, but oh well, details, right? So I view this as primarily an attempt to lead away a little bit of fire, honestly. But okay, let's look at it, shall we? Valve must address swastikas, another hate on Steam, writes US Senator a letter to Gabe Newell. Now, Gabe, of course, is unlikely to give two flying farts about this, because this isn't the first time he's been threatened with this nonsense, and frankly, the US has no actual power over Steam at this point. It is simply too gosh darn popular. But how did the ADL come up with all of this information? The exact hateful stuff he's talking about was highlighted in that report by the Anti-Defamation League last week. Its many findings include swastikas and profile pictures, anti-Semitic images such as the Happy Merchants, and instances of Pepe the Frog. I want you to just absorb that information there. So, swastikas, Happy Merchant, and instances of Pepe the Frog. Now, what is your impression for that? Does it sound as if Steam is overwhelmed by swastikas? The Happy Merchant is everywhere you look, and there's the occasional Pepe here and there. Huh? Well, the simmering bubble of fascism won't be news to the average Steam user. That doesn't mean that we should get complacent. Actually, it does, because here's the thing, right? Top extremist or hateful symbols on Steam. First and foremost, 54.6% is Pepe's. Just blanket Pepe's in all of its millions of variations. Instances. There's some instances of Pepe the Frog. Occasionally. That seems to be your entire case. Swastikas comes up in the second place with a whopping 9.1%. Then the Siege Mask and the Reichsadler, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's from like the 1300s or something, but sure, Why not Nazis? And hey, that's not even the worst of it. We've got the triskelion, a Norse symbol from, 3,000-4,000 years ago. The Valknute. Oh, no, that was Greek. I think actually that predates the Greeks. The Valnute, that one's Norse. I remember that one. And then you've got some actual SS stuff, the SL Sports, the Totenkopf. Okay, it was used by hussars first, a few hundred years previously, but close enough for government work, right? Okay. Right, so these are the percentages. 544,000 instances of Pepe. Wow, that is terrifying. I can see why a US senator chooses to use the taxpayer's dime on this, but just out of interest here, what exactly kind of a percentage are we looking at here? Just so we can know how complacent we must not be. Oh, that's right. 132 million monthly users. 132 million monthly users. The Pepes, the thing that makes up half of this list, make up 0.3 something percent. Okay? We should not merely be complacent over numbers so minuscule. We should pull up a lawn chair. This isn't even a fraction of a problem, goddammit. We are not even measuring in percentages anymore. We're going into 0 points. And as for the swastikas, that is something along the lines of 0.00 something percent. Like, holy hell. No, we should absolutely get complacent. We have sanitized even the last remaining relatively free platform on the internet to the point that less than 1%, less than a third of 1% of people on it have what could, even in the most wide definition imaginable, be referred to as a hate symbol. And as for even the actual swastika, holy crap, we are entering territory that isn't even measurable here unless we use an AI scraping tool, which is incidentally exactly what they did. An AI tool called Hate Vision, which scanned the groups and user profile scheme for specific hate stamps. We have arrived at the point where we must use AI technology to scrape the bottom of the barrel for the tiniest particles of outrage we can conceivably find. Like, Jesus Christ, this problem isn't merely just solved, it's been obliterated. Oh my God. There are actual concern. See, this is one of the reasons for the enormous Trump backlash, right, okay? We're going to do a stream on this week, I think, on the idea of the breaking of the dam, how we are seeing more and more people now be openly pro-Trump, openly pro the right, and even more importantly, vehemently anti-left, to the point where we get mainstream gaming media articles saying Dragon Age is too woke, to the point where we are inundated with articles saying that the next generation is more conservative than ever, and people are like, oh, this has never happened before. It has, actually, quite a few times in history, but hey, let's not care about history. We are ignoring that as hard as we can regardless, so why not? But this is the reason the left's argument, like, holy shit, this entire massive organization that is the Anti-Defamation League. Oh, click away from the Virgin swastika before YouTube gets upset. This whole massive organization that spends, God alone, how many hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars every year on searching for the tiniest dust particles of hatred it can find to continue to justify its own long overdue and superfluous existence. This is literally nothing more. Oh, that's a big nice donate button up there, by the way. This is nothing more than a grift at this point. In the purest, most literal definition of the word, the ADL is a grift. It is targeting such an infinitesimally small percentage, not even that, a less than a percentage of the population now, that you can't even find it without the aid of artificial intelligence. Then this is mainstream media headlines, okay? This is what senators concern themselves with. This person does not deserve his job because he very clearly has no idea what he's talking about and must have done precisely zero research into this topic before deciding to use probably one of the largest podiums on the planet to talk about it. We need to return to the age of sanity, of normalcy, where we can look at this. Oh my god, there's Nazis on Steam? How many? 0.00% of people are using the Virgin windmill in their profile pictures? Oh. I don't care. Is the only response to this. And at least as far as Valve is concerned, I am confident that will be their response as well. I don't give a fuck. At the very least, until Gabe Newell wanders off this mortal coil. We really need to invest a lot more research into how to, preserve his brain in a jar at this point. Anywho, I've been Arch. Thank you very much for watching, and if anyone knows Mark Warner's constituency, I highly urge you to vote in the opposite direction whenever possible. Have a good day, chat.